hello. Welcome to the Eric St. Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Normally, the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker studio. For a good portion of this week, the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker North studio, which is a 70-year-old trailer. I wish I could give you a grand tour, but it would just... I guess I could on the mobile device, but it's not set up. I mean, not that it would ever really be set up, but there's shit everywhere. So I think the plot thickens when it comes to the rodents that dwell here, though. I've never been able to pinpoint where they're getting in, but I guess it could come from somewhere in the roof area. I mean, there's not like holes all over the place here. It's actually pretty pristine, especially on the inside. Something of this age with a flat roof like this would have long since deteriorated had my father not put on a freestanding roof over it, which is really high pitch. Looks like a fucking structure in a Dr. Seuss book. And it just basically is over it like a fucking portable carport, but it's made out of wood and shingles. That's been able to keep the structure intact. However, over the years, I wouldn't be surprised if just somehow they found out a way to get in. As Chris points out, they don't need much of a hole or a gap to get in. And I've seen mice do this, and I've seen chipmunks, who I think may be a culprit here, as having the ability to defy gravity in their incredible, as quickly and as fast as they are on flat ground, they're just as quick up the side of a fucking building or a damn piece of wood. It's wow, these fucking things. And I actually finished the show yesterday. This show was a little after 10, and I walked outside onto this little deck that I have outside of the door. And I looked to my right, and 7 feet away is a chipmunk on a 4x4 upright, which is part of the freestanding roof. And he's looking right at me. And I'm like, boy, you don't seem skittish at all. And I think it's because I'm in his house. He's like, motherfucker, what are you doing in there? And so then I kind of just look at him, and he scurries up the top. He gets to the roof area, which, I can only see so far up because that freestanding roof is hanging down. You can't get up there. It's impossible. And, well, holy fuck. He then was on top of the roof, and he disappeared. So I don't know, man. That might be the dude who has something to do with the 2 nests I found in here. If I could somehow manage to get up onto the top of the roof, I might be able to pinpoint an entryway. So one of these days, you know how it is. Like, fuck it, I don't know. So normally on a day like today, excuse me, hang on, I'm sorry. Oh, God. Normally on a day like today, we would do Dear Meathead with my beloved 89-year-old father. But cell service here is just so spotty. In order for me to get to have a conversation with anyone, I have to walk out onto the middle of the open property in this small valley here. And then don't move. So in here, it's just weak. And oh God, what is my deal today? The weak cell service is also the Achilles heel of these trackers that I have on the dog, which just don't work. And thank you to Nick V, who he always, every time he reaches out to me, he always has something that he's right on. Like every time, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does, you ever meet somebody like that? They don't say much, but when they do, you better listen. They got something to say. They only talk when it's necessary. When they know they can, help you. Nick's very helpful. He's always been awesome. And smart as a whip, by the way. Nick is one of these guys, Nick V, who I don't think he went to college, but he's one of the smartest people I know. You can just sense it. And, he educated himself in trades. He could fix anything. He's a electrician. What is the term for the greatest electrician on the planet? I know there's like journeyman and master, which both those terms sound like fucking great. I'm a journeyman. That means I can go anywhere and fix anything. I'm a master. I think he's all of those times 10. All right? And he's built his personal worth to a pretty high level, I think. I think Nick's kind of rolling in dough from skilled trades. I always love that, I love it when a person uses their brain to really get far in the world. But I also love it when a guy uses his brain and his wits and his skills with his hands, Excuse me. Did you see that kid who he was really, super smart, and he got offered scholarships to like every college in America? He got like tens of millions of dollars in scholarship offers. That fucker. Brilliant. I think he's going to like Cornell. Can you imagine if you had all those scholarship offers and you ended up going to some loser college like where I went to? Central Michigan. I mean, it's a fine college, but they'll take anybody. If they took me, okay, come on now. Well, anyway, Nick writes this. Eric, I am catching up late on the podcast. I'm guessing that the dog collar that you bought relies on a cellular signal. True. So spotty service will delay updating or not work at all. Now, him saying that is something that I kind of knew, but I don't know. I still thought it was a mystery why it wasn't working. That's because I'm stupid. He says also AirTags rely, like Chris said, on talking to other people's phones and Wi-Fi and will not work in the woods. So, Chris, you are vindicated. What you need, Eric Zane, is the GPS collars that Hilljacks use when they release a pack of hounds to hunt bear and mountain lions. People do this? What the fuck? I would think that if a dog came after a bear or a mountain lion, that the bear would fucking kick its ass. I guess it's a pack. I don't know. The dogs run out a mile or two ahead to corner or tree whatever they are hunting. Well, that sounds horrible. So basically, a bear climbs a tree and is scared to death, and the hunter comes up and shoots it in the fucking face, and it falls to its death. Yeah, good times. Good times. Whatever. As long as it keeps him away from me. They use GPS, but the collar transmits directly to the handheld tracker with radio signals up to 9 miles with some models. Also, you can set a wireless GPS plotted electric fence boundary that will keep the dog from going too far. These systems also work with up to 21 dogs at one time. Boy, you're very specific on your info. It's you that trees the bear, isn't it? If interested, I sent a link to one at Cabela's for more info on that style. I'm no expert on them, but Cabela's you can probably go into and get a better look at them, or if there are other models. This one seems top of the line, but I have read reviews on the cheaper ones that interface with a phone, that those can be buggy. Signed, Nick. All right. I'm sure it's cheap. So what this boils down to is what I spent on the tracker, like for the actual device, and for the subscription is equivalent to getting three or four hundred $1 bills, setting them in my fire pit over here, and lighting them on fire. I should have fucking known. Damn it. That's annoying. Like I said, no deer meathead today. I called him. I wandered over to the middle of the valley here, and hello, hey Dad, where are you? Yeah, again, every time. Once you get 70 and above, the first question you have for whoever's calling you is, where are you? I think because he's worried. He's always just wants to know that I'm okay. I find it cute. Cute and charming with my sweet, beloved 89-year-old father. Where are you? Well, Dad, I'm up north. You are? What are you doing? I go, I'm raking, and the sun was setting. It was starting to become dusk. He goes, oh my God, it's dark. Get inside. He has an idea for some reason that where I am is like highly suspect and dangerous. Like I'm in the middle of the hood or some shit. And I go, well, I'm actually just finishing up, so I am going to go inside, but it's fine, Dad. No big deal. You are alone? Where is your honey? Well, I came alone. I just brought a couple of dogs, and I had to get some work done. I'm preparing for all of your everyone's arrival when they get here in a few weeks. And we've had this entire conversation last week at this time. I can honestly say that I think his short-term memory is erasing like minutes now. Like if I started. Like, as I started that conversation with him, and by the end of that conversation, we had that conversation again. And, you never, ever say, yeah, I just mentioned that. Because then he's like, oh, he realizes he's busted. You don't want that, because then he feels bad. And that's the last thing you want to do, is make this patient, this dementia patient, feel bad. So I go, yeah, Dad, it's going to be great. I got everything all set. I brought my podcasting equipment. He goes, oh, you're working. I go, yeah, I do like I normally do on any given day back home. And then instead of the usual stuff I do and the rest of the day back home, I'm getting things ready for you guys. Why? I go, well, you're coming to visit in a couple of weeks. So I explained to him, but it's all good. I'm looking forward to seeing him. So, all right. You need to know that today, I should say for tomorrow, Thursday's show, I am going to post some, an edition of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. And I'm going to try to go with some golden oldies that haven't been heard in a while for this show. I think I need to bust out, because I don't always save everything. It's sometimes difficult for me to pinpoint what happened when. But I think it would be a good idea to bust out the old Z-Speed Mobile Mechanic segment, which will make everyone happy except one of you. Just a little bit of background on that. Our beloved pal Kenny in Nashville, Tennessee. This was back, this is all Kyler. Audience member Kyler and pal Kyler. He tipped me off on some weekend that Kenny was having a Facebook meltdown. And I go, really? I hadn't seen. And Kenny writes, "Oh, for fuck's sake." And I go, "Well, what's going on?" He goes, "Oh, man, he hired some guy to fix his car and things didn't work out. And now he is just laying waste." And so he had hired a mobile mechanic. The guy would drive to your place and fix your car. On the day that he's supposed to arrive, he sends Kenny a message saying, I didn't realize you were this far away. So basically, he's looking at a margin issue for the amount of travel, the time, the expense to get where Kenny was. It doesn't factor into his business plan. So the guy canceled the order. And this unleashed the fury. This unleashed the Kraken. And he spun out. And then that's all I needed to see. Now, I do not have access to see these types of meltdowns anymore because he does not allow me to see his Facebook. And then, see, right now he's writing, "No, already wrong." Well, I mean, this is a long time. This is a long time has passed. So I don't remember all the details because he says right now, "I had to contact him because he wasn't showing up." Look, let's not quibble about the details here. Let's just focus on the entertainment value. Because the weekend for our pal Kenny comes and goes. And Adam says, he unfriended you? Oh, yeah. He won't let me. We're still friends, but he won't let me look at his Facebook anymore. We're friends like in real time, but we're not friends like on Facebook. He doesn't want me seeing anything that he says personally because he's afraid that I'll bust out the details here. And I can't blame him. I cannot blame him for that. And I don't hold any ill will. So anytime, so that's in a nutshell what's going on there. But Kenny's trying to explain himself right now to people who are taking the bait. I'll explain it. It's okay. You guys just enjoy the show. It's you don't need to be having sidebar discussions. Essentially, I'm right. All right. But let's not get bogged down in the details here. The fact of the matter is, he writes, because Eric would see posts and then pull them out of his ass on the show just to make fun of me. Asshole. Well, don't get all riled up. Don't. See, Adam, you did that on purpose. God damn it. We don't want him upset. I want everybody to have a good day. We don't need to rip the scab off old wounds here. It's cool. It's fine. Jesus, you dick. Not Kenny's not the dick. It's Adam. Guilty as charged. Anyway. So Saturday finishes. Sunday comes and goes. And then Monday happens. And then about an hour into the show, somehow the saga of Kenny with this mechanic popped into my head. Now, he's right. I had probably 1% of the facts. But in the spirit of comedy, that does not matter. All you have to do is grab the person. Well, in Kenny's case, 4 people have to grab Kenny and throw him out in front of an oncoming vehicle that transports lots of people at once, called a bus. Bus hits Kenny, and he's now under said bus over his behavior with this mechanic. This turned into a long-running thread and drama, complete with the point of Kenny announcing to the world that he is, I think he gave the guy a 1-star review. And then he screenshotted the 1-star review and posted it to Facebook so that we all could see. And that kind of opened up the door for a long history of Kenny with 1-star review. So if you ever hear me go, oh, man, I'm pissed, hand hovering over the mouse, getting ready to fire off 1 star. Oh! All right. So it all builds to the legend that is Mr. Hinson, Kenny. There are so many layers to that cat that are, lend to an outrageously exaggerated and drama-filled character that I honestly don't think he cares for it that much. But anyway, that will be part of tomorrow's Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Now on Patreon, I also posted for Thursday what amounts to about 3 hours and 20 minutes of content. And you're going to like this. I have something that I can't really go into what it is, but you will know it when you hear it. All right? You see, I don't want you without any content. Tyler says, is what you're posting the length of a radio show? Yeah. Yeah, I would say that. And you see how that works? I know that I'm going to be traveling Thursday. So what I did was I worked ahead a couple of days, and all by my lonesome, I am going to whip up even more content than I would on a day that I'm actually podcasting. There's this neat feature on every platform that exists called scheduling. And it took me about 5 minutes. Here I am, poverty internet, in the middle of nowhere, where I don't even have a cell signal. And I sat right here and did all of that all by myself. Josh writes, but Eric, how do you post content when you're not around without 4 other people? Patrick writes, that's brilliant. Amanda says, I wish I had your work ethic. I think you do. You just got to, polish it off a little. Young Adam Schwab says, what a concept. I know, isn't that strange? Tyler says, this must have taken you hours to prepare this content for paying subscribers. That's the thing. I am so deathly afraid of getting lazy that I'm always like, over-deliver. Don't stop over-delivering. I feel bad when I don't put out a Facebook post. All these alarms start going off in my head. It's called complacency alarms. It's like, dude, these are your fans. These are people who actually go out of their way to find you on a podcast and give you a fucking couple of scraps to hear what you have to say. Do not fuck this up. Do not take that for granted, for God's sake. Ever. Ever. Bear 495 says, what happened to the bunker? Sorry, I haven't been here in a while. No, I'm up north right now. I am not at my usual spot. I am in my trailer in the middle of nowhere. Thank you, Amanda. She just cheered times 100. I don't know what that means. I think that's $1 or something like that. Is that right? I don't know. I appreciate that. What was I going to talk about? Okay, so the way this unfolds is I came up here to paint, you know. I want the interior of this old trailer to be, like, perfect. And it's, you know, I haven't even opened a paint can since I got here. And but that's okay. I mean, I realized when I got here that at the end of when fall hit, however many months ago, I never came up here and raked these fucking leaves. And if you don't rake, it's a nightmare. All right, it kills all the grass. I mean, imagine you're in a forest with one little patch of no trees. The amount of leaves that are it's a fucking deep carpeting of leaves that has just finished a week and a half ago having 2 feet of snow on it. So they're all impacted and wet and stupid. Oh, God. So I abandoned ship on all painting, and now it's just rake. And I have to actually stop. I mean, it would take me another. Well, I've been doing it for 2 days straight, and I've raked about the amount of space as a football field. And what you do is you make a big fucking pile of leaves, and you put a tarp down, and then you rake all the leaves onto the tarp, and you drag the tarp out into the fucking forest. You get rid of the leaves, you come back, and you do that for a whole day. The thing now is, though, that I'm about a third done. That's how much of space that I have to do, and it's all by my fucking self, of course. Wouldn't have it any other way. So now I got to put the brakes on that, because once I get done with this show, okay, I have to get this place that I'm in ready for my dad, which means I got to put screens in windows, and this deck that I was telling you about that I was standing on, the squirrel looking at me like I was an asshole, it has an amount of bird shit on it that is like a pile of guano, and it's so disgusting. I need to clean that because I can't have someone walking up here. You see, there's all sorts of bird nests underneath this fucking freestanding roof. Oh. Kenny makes a point that has been told that I have been told by loved ones. Is that what your dad used to do? You're slowly becoming your dad, aren't you? Oh, my God. You are not kidding. Everybody tells me that. Tyler says, don't forget to schedule some time for morel hunting, which I did yesterday. I walked around the tree line. I talked to Nate, audience member Nate, who actually called me. I wandered to the middle of this valley to talk to him. He goes, dude, we've found them here in Kentucky just a little bit outside of the tree line. You're going to want to look, and typically they pop up in sunny spots. I have got to find some of these. I doubt I will, though. I don't know if I have the right type of trees that they're found under, you know. Raking leaves, killing dandelions, shoveling snow, having incidents with chainsaws and ladders, all things that my dad... You're right. Of his 3 actual sons, which would be Norman, Jim, and Eric, in that order. I am easily the most like him. Now, there's also Push-Up Paul and Regular Mike, which we share a mom, but my dad adopted them. But it's all weird. It's completely weird. Okay. So that's what's happening. Get done with the show today. Again, more arts and crafts, boring shit to do to get ready for traveling. Head back home. And then Thursday night, you know what the fuck is going down? Ben and Eric. The Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Now listen to me. If you are new, all right, I am going to send you a Zoom link to be part of the audience. We have a number of regulars who show up, but don't let that make you shy, okay? We have a great time. It's a different vibe. You know, when you're used to doing, or when you're used to seeing a solo show monologue for 2 hours, now suddenly there's people involved. Now, that makes my work a lot less involved, and it's great because it's the heavy lifting part is gone. When I've got someone as awesome as Ben is to be part of it. And a lot of folks think that is their favorite thing that happens on the Patreon. Linda indicates that Ben and Eric alone is worth the cost of the Patreon. Thank you. You're very kind. But just before that, Ben and I are going to record the Who Are These Zanes, which we'll take that audio and make it available on Saturday for everybody. So lots of busy work, lots of things to do. That's how we do it. So, I'll just throw in a plug for Patreon. And by the way, thank you to E-Rock for signing up yesterday. Again, always sit up a little higher. Thank you, buddy, for signing up on Patreon. And if you've ever been on there, I thank you very much. If you've been on in the past or thinking about doing it again or just thinking about signing up for the first time, that is the first revenue stream. The first thing that made me think I could be an independent show. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Okay. For you folks on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, it is time to kick you out. All right? And it's too bad because you're going to miss the story about Robert De Niro. Oh, God, is this hideous. Fuck. So what you do if you want the show uninterrupted, because there's, another hour and 24 minutes of show. If you want it live every day, we'll do it live. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Or download the Twitch app and then search Eric Zane Live, all one word. There I am. Follow the page. If you want to get the show minus commercials on the video live stream, because Amazon throws them in on Twitch, because that's who owns Twitch, you'll have to link your Amazon Prime account if you have one. And then once you do that, you subscribe. When you subscribe, no commercials. You miss any of this or don't know what the fuck you're doing because you don't like reading, reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, and then I will pass you off to Kenny, who will then tell you how to do this. All right. So thank you. By the way, one more thing, people who I'm kicking out. The audio podcast is available wherever you download shows. As soon as I get done with this, it takes me a few minutes, and then I post it in a timely fashion, usually up by 10:30 a.m., the latest audio podcast. Eric Zane Show podcast, wherever you download shows. Please subscribe to the audio podcast, whether you listen to it or not. Thank you. And rate and review it if you have that option. If you ever want to say hello, send me an email, Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. Okay, goodbye.